What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So I hate to begin my video off with a lie because it has not been every single day. The last couple of days have been a little tough for me. I was traveling, and then once I got back, it came down with a little something. I wasn't sure what it was, but I took a test. I took a couple tests, and it's not the Rona. So I guess it's just exhaustion from traveling. You can kind of hear it in my voice, but I'm excited to be back here in the home studio, being able to bring this content to you guys and to chat more about Splinterlands, because let me tell you, this 1 week that I was away, right, so much has happened and there's so much to dig into. So expect some more videos as I try to get back into the swing of things here over the weekend. But I just wanted to explain the absence the last couple of days, as I said, I was traveling and a little under the weather. But it's also just good to take a little break and a step back from the game. I just want to be able to say that. I think that's important. You know, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is you're into, to like take a step back and just get a little perspective sometimes is great. Now, like I said, I was taking a step back at a time when there's a lot of exciting things happening, so take that for what it is. But I'm hyped. Let's get into it. Now, this video is it's kind of similar to the town hall videos that I do, the 5 biggest takeaways, but it's for a special one-off kind of town hall that happened during the end of the airdrop. So on Tuesday, the last day of the SPS airdrop, we finally finished 1 full year of it. Aggroed, Hardpoint, and Yaba were on. I guess it was an AMA, or maybe they were just kind of talking through what was going on. But I guess it was a little bit of a celebration of the end of the airdrop. We got a lot of interesting alpha there and lots to dig into, but I wanted to do kind of like my 5 biggest takeaways style video for that. So as a visual, I got this here ready for you so you can see exactly what we're going to get into. And I say we just jump right in because there's a lot of really, really interesting things shared. So this first one, SPS rewards, both in chests and for ranked battles, is going to be staked, which means it's going to take some time for you to unstake it and to sell it. Now, I know people have probably talked about this a bunch already, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I'm a big fan of it. I just want to say that I think that this is great because I believe for most people who are trying to who are really trying to play this game and to advance and progress in this game, I do think that they want to have some SPS, and I do think they want to have some SPS staked. So having that come already pre-packaged, it's going to create a little bit of a barrier, right? And a little bit of like less incentive for people to unstake rather than to have it there ready to sell. Now, for a lot of the accounts that come in and usually just drain the game of the rewards. And again, there's no judgment here, right? Like, because I'm not saying whether it's bots or whether it's people, right? A lot of people, if you can play the game and it's paying for your dinner that night, I think that's amazing. If it's paying for your rent, I think that's amazing. Now, this is going to create a little bit of a barrier for you, but what I do believe is that you'll be able to unstake this in 4 weeks. So whenever it goes live, it's literally just a 1 month delay. And then you just have to get on that cycle of continuously unstaking every week. And after 4 weeks, you'll be on a good cycle moving forward. But for the most part, I think it will disincentivize many people from unstaking. So as governance comes live, as a lot of other SPS benefits potentially come live, we'll have more people that will just be holding on to SPS rather than selling it. So it actually makes me very bullish. I was a little worried about ranked battle rewards coming into the mix here, mainly because I just figured it would create a lot of selling pressure. But just this one kind of friction point is going to be enough, in my opinion, to remove that incentive, right? To just be like, let me just sell it right away. Now you got to plan it out, wait 4 weeks. And here's the thing. If you're playing this game and you're in it and you want to wait those 4 weeks, or you're planning it out, like, more power to you. And once you get on a nice weekly cycle, you'll be fine. Or I guess 4-week cycle, you'll be good to go. But for me, I think that this is great. I don't think that this is going to be... I'm sure many people will look at this in a negative way at first, but I think for the value of the token to be a little less volatile and maybe actually have more swing to the upside, I think this could be great in the medium to long term. So that's my thought on that. Number two, the airdrop broke everything. It was interesting to hear Yabamat say that because, in a way, I mean, this is what I've been saying since the beginning, that the airdrop was this amazing double-edged sword that it broke the economy in a way that during a bull run, during a macro bull run, metaverse bull run, Splinterlands bull run with a new with Chaos Legion coming out, a new expansion coming out, it became something that drew hundreds of thousands of people to the game, right? And it drew many people for the wrong reasons, because people then started creating lots of ways to extract value from the game, whether it was bot farms or whether it was whatever the case is, right? And so as that has dried up over the last year, or I guess really over the last 6-7 months since the end of November, when the market kind of peaked, we felt the other side of that sword, right? Because the first half of this like airdrop year was amazing. Asset prices were skyrocketing, like SPS went to $1, and it was just something. DEC went 15x above its peg, so it just became something that was awesome to experience, especially if you were in at the beginning or even before this whole thing started. But for the last 6 months, 7 months, it's been a grind, and a very rough one at that, as we've seen just assets completely drop off. And again, this has to do with the macro, right? The markets, as well as Bitcoin and crypto, metaverse, all this stuff coming down. And then the micro within Splinterlands, like just there wasn't much development from January to May. And so it was just this long, slow bleed of everything that happened. And the team, what it seems as though they're looking at is, or was waiting for the end of the airdrop to really start implementing all of these different things. One thing that probably should have been its own thing here, but I'll just add it on the back end here, is Yabamat was saying something along the lines of, people wanting a focus on new player experience. But his defense on that was that they want to set the game up in a way where it's not going to have any crazy changes before they start really creating that new player experience that is going to last for a while. Does that make sense? So for example, if they had created a new player experience in April, right, or even in January, and had been trying to market and get people into the game, ranked rewards changed everything. And then Modern changed everything as well. Now we're going to have ranked battle rewards that are going to upend everything, right? Like no more DEC. So it seems as though there's a bunch of changes that they are trying to make over the next couple of months, or we'll just say by the end of the year, that is really the focus for the team, so that they can start to market this out to a wider audience, or a mass audience. And when those new players come in, it's going to be a very streamlined approach with that new player experience. Everything's going to stay the same, or for however long in the future, unless there's some minor tweaks here and there, but no major economy or game structure shifts. So in that way, it was good to hear Yabamat kind of, not that he's been hiding it or anything. It was just nice to hear his breakdown and kind of like reflection over the past year. So I really appreciated that, and really just everything that he was bringing to the table. Okay, number 3, the Rift Watchers presale is going to be similar to Chaos Legion. Now, I think we all figured this would be the case, but now we're getting more bits and pieces of what Rift Watchers is going to be like, whether that's the amount of cards, whether that's the amount of, the amount of cards, the amount, whatever it is, or the different breakdown of cards, I should say. Well, now the presale is going to be something similar to Chaos Legion, and there's going to be a promo card similar to Dr. Blight that will not be available in Rift Watchers packs. And so this is just an important thing to keep in mind. Now, they are still trying to get Rift Watchers out in August, is what it sounds like. But I mean, this year has been a year of delays, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed further. Now, the only reason that I think it's going to be either August or September, which is what they're shooting for now, and not later, even though, I totally understand that there's always going to be delays, is I do believe they want to get this out by Splinterfest, because Splinterfest is mid-October, and I'm sure as soon as October rolls around, I'm sure it's as soon as the end of September rolls around, I think everything's going to be all hands on deck for Splinterfest and just trying to get prepped for that. And it sounds as though there's going to be some interesting, things available for Splinterfest as well, although we don't have details. So in order to not have those clash with each other, I think that there is definitely an incentive or motivation for the team to get this out before October, and I've said this before, but now if there's going to be a pre-sale that's similar to Chaos Legion, keep in mind that the pre-sale for Chaos Legion lasted 1 month. This is a smaller set, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pre-sale that lasts only 2 weeks, for example, right? And maybe something that requires vouchers, or as Yaba said, potentially multiple vouchers, right? Because now we've had insane voucher inflation that I wouldn't be surprised to see them trying to up the ante on this. So in that way, I think that this is a good thing for the community and for the set. We now have a structure in place that we've seen and can, we can kind of use as an emulation or simulation of what is going to happen for Rift Watchers. So if we do see a 2-week pre-sale, I would say that we probably won't see anything until end of August, earliest. And the reason I say this is because we're already at the end of July now, and I think they want to get SPS ranked battle rewards implemented soon. It sounds like brawl rewards for SPS are something that they want to implement soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see those things in August, which means if they can get everything done by mid-August or even end of August, they can start announcing the Rift Watchers pre-sale and then have that maybe run 2 weeks or maybe even a full month, right? And then maybe the launch of Rift Watchers happens at the end of September, right? That's kind of the timeline that I'm thinking in my head. Again, this is all speculation, so I have no idea. But if that is what they go for, whether it's 2 weeks or a month, I can see the earliest being end of August or maybe early September, and them trying to get the actual launch of the cards out by September or end of September. But we'll see. Hopefully next week we'll get more information on that, and there'll be some good stuff coming soon. All right, number 4. This is a big one, and I've talked about this previously, and I think I'm going to make a separate video on this as well. But once again, Yaba was talking about, actually both Yaba and Agrod were talking about airdrops for all of the other games and projects that they are working on. So this is something that's huge, and not from this previous town hall, but in a town hall maybe a couple of weeks ago, Yaba had mentioned this, and he even said that maybe this would be the biggest utility for SPS. I mean, think about that, right? As somebody who's like screaming for more utility for SPS, the founder of the game is saying that the biggest utility for SPS, one of the biggest drivers of potential price, right, for SPS or demand for SPS, which would lead to price, is going to be this airdrops for other games. Now, we know that the long-term vision, at least from what we've heard from Agrod, is to create almost like a game studio, right? Where Splinterlands isn't just a card game, but Splinterlands is a bunch of games or a bunch of projects, and maybe they all come together under the Splinterlands banner, or are collaborations with other. They've talked about sports leagues, they talked about casinos, they talked about tower defense, all these different things that maybe come under the banner of SPS or Splinterlands, I should say. And if SPS token holders are going to be the main people, and I'm talking about SPS staked token holders are going to be the main accounts that are going to benefit from this. Well, I've said this before, and I even posted like a live stream replay of where I was trying to think of how SPS could hit $1 in the next year, right? Reach back to its all-time high within the next year. And when I say next year, I mean like between now and mid 2023, we'll just say. It's only going to be this way. That's the only way that I can see it, because if they start airdropping crazy amounts of value to people, and everybody knows that they have all of these partnerships lined up. This tower defense game, there's Warner Music, there's Sports League and Casino. Those are the things that I continue to keep hearing. If they drop one of them and that thing drops a tremendous amount of value, people are going to look at SPS and be like, wait a second, this is just one of the projects. There's a bunch more that they've been talking about. I need to get some SPS. Well, that's what I could see pushing the price back up to its all-time high. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, right? And I want to be very clear about this. I think that if it does happen, it's like an incredibly small chance of it happening. So I'm not trying to create hype and FOMO, because I think the other big thing we all need to consider is the fact that there is global macroeconomic factors as well as a crypto bear market, right? So until either of those change, and don't get me wrong, those could change within the next year, right? Or we could just stay stagnant for the next year. Who knows? But if the stars align, then sure, I think I could see it going up. I think even if the stars don't align, if the value given is so high, it's going to turn some heads. And it's going to make people who have no, they don't have any affinity, don't care at all for the Splinterlands card game itself, but they want to have exposure to the SPS token, that could create some demand, which is kind of, it rubs me the wrong way, because I'm just like, this SPS token is a governance token for a game, right? And it's just like, if there's more demand from people outside of the game than the people inside the game, I think the incentive structure is all wrong. That being said, I live in the real world, and I'm telling you what I'm seeing, and at least what is being told by the team. So if that demand comes in from anywhere, I will take it. But I will also keep in mind that demand from outside forces who have no stake in the game, right? To have that, don't care about the game, I should say, will probably be the first to dump it once it is no longer of value to them. If the partnerships dry up, or if the partnerships end, or if there's a lull in the market, whatever the case is, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. And it's something that I'm excited about, and makes me wish that I had the largest SPS bag in the world, but I don't, but I'm still working towards it. And number 5, there's more announcements coming soon, and this is kind of a cop-out, number 5, but hearing Hardpoint talk and seeing that excitement from Hardpoint always just gets me excited, because Hardpoint, and not just Hardpoint, but it seems as though there's a lot that the team is working on, and Hardpoint is just like always the one closest to just letting it out. It's always like on the tip of his tongue, and it's like, just tell us, man, just tell us what's going on. But it sounds like there's plenty more announcements coming soon, stuff that they haven't even been able to give a hint to. So the fact that we have SPS ranked battle rewards, brawl rewards, we have Rift Watchers, we have all these different announcements so far, all these different partnerships. Maybe there's announcements coming down the line with that. So I'm excited, guys. This is one of the best times to be in Splinterlands right now. I know people probably thinking like a year ago maybe it was the best time, and you wouldn't be wrong, right? If you got in at the end of July last year. But the second best time, I would say, would probably be right now, because it seems as though there's a lot just around the corner. And while this may not moon the price, right? This may not moon the value of all the assets in the game, I do believe in what the team is trying to build here. Not just a card game, but really an entire ecosystem that is going to have so many projects under its banner. And if they are going to continue driving value to SPS, which in the near future is going to be the token that everybody receives as a reward, I think we could be set up for some really, really great things. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Again, I have missed you all so much. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be back on Sunday with a live stream, hopefully back to my usual schedule by then. And yeah, I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.